Between ages 18 and 22, I found myself in engineering college. Was not happy with that environment. I wasn't having a good time. I'd figured that it wasn't my cup of tea. So I forced myself to do internships completely unrelated to engineering college. On one end, I was learning about fitness, changing my body. On the other end, I felt like I should change my mind. I'm learning all these things about engineering, but let me look for internships in startups, in finance, in media, in agriculture. Every semester I did a different kind of internship. I learned something radically different. I didn't enjoy most of those internships, but it did definitely add layers to my head. I noticed that most of the students in my class were thinking about, oh, okay, we need to do this after engineering college, and this is usually what engineers do, and this is where we should go for our MBAs. They were thinking about very standard things, but that process of experimentation kind of broke that tube for me. I wasn't in that tunnel vision of engineering college. I realized that the world is way bigger than the options that engineering college professors and students present you with. They'll give you a certain reality of the real world, but you actually only understand that reality when you experiment, when you go out and experience different parts of the real world. The physical fitness experiment showed me a new way of looking at my body. These mental experiments showed me a new way of looking at careers. So by the time I graduated, I'd understood I have to do a startup of my own. And because I knew fitness that well, why not make it a fitness startup? I remember at this phase, I was discouraged by all my engineering college peers. I was discouraged by all my relatives, professors. Everyone told me that I'm doing something different, but my track record with experimentation, the physical experimentation, the career experimentation had opened up my mind. That's what I hung on to. I hung on to that anchor, that pillar of experimentation, that I'm going to try something different. You never know what you'll unlock. Even by the time I took this call of a fitness starter, I tried another job. I tried other stuff. I'd worked in an engineering-based factory. I learned how to work those big industrial machines and all that. Keep in mind, I'm a YouTuber today. I have a media company today. Very different from engineering machines, but experimentation. Began teaching people about fitness online. Needed to make money to support my YouTube channel. So another experiment. I'd already worked in finance and agriculture and media and startups. Why not work as a fitness coach, a fitness trainer? So while all my other engineering college friends are working in banks and engineering based jobs and as coders, I said I'm going to be India's best trainer. And that's what I started doing. I started training Tanmay Bhatt from AIB as well. Helped him with his weight loss back in the day, just as an experiment. I remember the first day I was actually going to train someone. I didn't even know what I should tell them in terms of what my charges were. So I called up my own coach and said, "Sir, what's the standard rate? Let me just go as an experiment and see what happens." And that potential client agreed to my rate. And I made a lot of money off that one gig. Eventually, his whole family started training with me because the quality of my product was also fantastic. The kind of training I was selling was very high level. People think that it's okay to experiment without preparation, but that's not true. If you're experimenting, you have to prepare, you have to study. You have to be well equipped in order to be successful at that experiment. That's what multiple internships had taught me. That's what experimenting with my body had taught me. Learn everything really well to get the most out of that experiment to make it a likely successful experiment. That's all I did. I was open to trying new things and I would give it my all before I began trying that new thing. I became one of the most renowned trainers in the country. I was getting offers from all over India to keep training people, and then I realized, wait, made my money off it. But this YouTube world, this social media world, this is where the growth is at. This is what I can scale. The experiments from engineering college of working with startups, understanding the concept of scalability, growing a business's size, all those factors came into play. Even experiments that you don't pursue teach you things that stay with you for life, that you can apply later. While I was one of the top fitness coaches in the country, I said, no more fitness coaching. Let's just focus on YouTube full time. We grew the channel. We eventually also started teaching people fashion, grooming, entrepreneurship, personal finance. Why? Because I wanted to experiment with content. When all my peers in engineering college were telling me that this experiment is going to fail, I just held on to that idea of trying new things. And I applied that same concept to YouTube. I remember when I started changing up my content on YouTube, a lot of people who were giving me advice, a lot of my friends said, you're making the biggest mistake of your life by getting away from fitness content. But no, same logic. I said that the change will be worth it because I'm prepared for the change. I will give it my best shot.